Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. Back to the same old saying, a picture, or I guess in this case a video, is worth 1,000 words. There's a video floating around. Someone captured a shot of Kamala Harris looking tired, exhausted, frankly depressed and disheveled following her rally last night. And this little video that was captured, honestly, I think encapsulates exactly how Kamala Harris is probably feeling after Joe Biden once again sabotages her campaign, probably in the most consequential manner yet. Kamala Harris yesterday delivered her final remarks. Her closing argument, her closing statement for the 2024 election. And obviously they had the same goal, for Kamala Harris to finally get her moment, to shine in front of the American people. But instead, Joe Biden calls half the country garbage, and it completely overshadowed what she was trying to achieve. I mean, it's not like Kamala Harris did great at her event anyways. She was pretty much stoking fear and division the entire time. Vote for me, cause Orange Man bad, he's gonna lock you up in the cages. That was basically the TLDR of what she was saying, but obviously now it's all monumentally worse, as Kamala Harris is stuck attempting to pick up the pieces as Dark Brandon strikes again. I'm seriously starting to think that Joe Biden voted for Donald Trump at this point, cause he is straight up sabotaging Harris's campaign. Let me show you guys exactly what happened. Let's have a conversation about all of it. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. All right, folks, so let's first start off with the clip. Just take a look at this. Oh, you can tell that the mood is just not up. You know, that was likely a couple moments, if not a couple hours, after Joe Biden created this incredible mess, and you can just tell that Kamala and her campaign must be seething. They went from, "Good job, Kamala, you did it," to "Holy frickin' crap, we're gonna have to deal with an absolute S-storm tomorrow morning." And also, actually, I'd like to point out that Kamala Harris looks exhausted. Kind of ironic considering, you know, she's been saying this for the last couple of weeks.
As for last night, yet again, Trump not showing up, refused to be a part of a CNN debate, and clearly his staff has been saying he's exhausted, and the sad part about that is he's trying to be president of the United States, probably the toughest job in the world, and he's exhausted.
Donald Trump's canceling events and he looks exhausted, says the person who looks literally exhausted, as she clearly struggles to cope and keep up with the rigors of a presidential campaign, says the person who keeps canceling events and can't show up. Meanwhile, Donald Trump seems to be making time for everything and is everywhere. But anyways, exhaustion tangent aside, this is bad, and they obviously know it. Kamala already had her deplorable moment, and well, now Joe Biden added another to the list. Take a look at what happened.
Or Puerto Rico, where I'm in my home state of Delaware, they're good, decent, honorable people. The only garbage I see floating out there is his supporters. His demonization is seen as unconscionable, and it's un-American.
As Kamala Harris is delivering this supposed incredible speech in Washington to 75,000 people in attendance, no surprise there, by the way, Kamala Harris had to go to deep blue 90+% Washington, D.C. to get a friggin' crowd to show up for her. But after what was supposed to be an optics win, Joe Biden literally says Donald Trump and his supporters are floating garbage. I mean, that makes the basket of deplorables comment seem nice. And now Kamala Harris is stuck in the morning having to pick up the pieces.
Type of leader I intend to be.
Have you talked to President Biden since his comment last night about garbage?
Listen, I think that, first of all, he clarified his comments, but let me be clear, I strongly disagree with any criticism of people based on who they vote for. You heard my speech last night and continuously throughout my career.
There she is, having to apologize for a statement made by Joe Biden during her rally. She has to clarify that she, in fact, does not believe lesser of conservatives. A little interesting considering she said this last year.
In fact, I'm going to share with you a very simple story, which is that I went home one day and I said, well, why are conservatives bad, Mommy? Because I thought we were supposed to conserve things. I couldn't reconcile it. Now I can.
Kamala Harris is stuck picking up the pieces, now having to convince the people that she's a unifier and not a divider. But there's a couple problems with that. Firstly, she's got only 6 days to do that, kind of a high demand. Secondly, I don't know how she's going to convince people that she's a unifier in chief when she spent the last month trying to convince people that Donald Trump is a fascist. I mean, she literally said that.
Donald Trump at the lead.
You've quoted General Milley calling Donald Trump a fascist. You yourself have not used that word to describe him. Let me ask you tonight, do you think Donald Trump is a fascist?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
And what's the implication there? If Donald Trump's a fascist, that means his supporters must be supporting fascists. In other words, Trump supporters, in her view, are fascist-supporting garbage. Let's be really honest here. I don't know how she undoes her track record on that issue. And thirdly, well, she seems painfully unwilling to actually say what needs to be said in a moment like this.
Do you sympathize with any voters who do feel offended by or insulted by the garbage comments?
I am running for president of the United States. I will be traveling to 3 states today to do what I have been doing throughout, which is talking with the American people about the fact that, first of all, I get it in terms of the concerns they have about challenges like the price of groceries.
When asked if she sympathizes with voters who feel offended or insulted by such a comment, she refuses to answer the question. You know, not exactly skilled damage control. Kamala Harris essentially proves the point. She's not going to condemn the statement. She's not going to sympathize with voters who not only have been insulted in this instance, but who are continuously insulted by the top brass of the Democrat Party. And of course, the Democrat Party affiliated leftist media. She just doesn't care. She probably feels the exact same way. That's my perception. And that obviously isn't going to work. You know, I think Kevin O'Leary made a great point during a CNN panel the other day.
The Jan 6 deal has been in the market forever. This rhetoric from people saying Trump is a Nazi and a fascist in the market forever. Do you really want to spend your closing statements on old stuff that's already needled into 45% of the country that hates him?
Is it old news,
It's
or
not,
is
though,
or is
right.
he also now running to? I mean, the problem. It would be old news if he was not running to be president.
Except think
again.
about
I
what
would
you're trying to
say
think what you're
supporting
trying to
Nazis,
replace. You're trying
supporting
to tell
Nazis
somebody
always relevant.
you don't
Always
you should
relevant.
care
Always
more
makes
about
news. Yeah.
Nazi Trump than the cost of gasoline, your rent, and the protein you buy for
That
your family.
is literally the art. Okay,
And I
yes.
think that's a losing
Kevin.
argument.
People are sick of it, and it's obvious that the divisive rhetoric of the left is no longer landing. I mean, look at the Madison Square Garden rally, for instance. It's obvious that a lot of celebrities aren't buying into the crap anymore, and they're standing with Donald Trump. Donald Trump has become more of a, let's call it, socially acceptable figure. People just aren't buying into the idea that Donald Trump is this great existential threat to the nation and the world anymore. But the left is carrying on. They're carrying on with the horrible rhetoric. And I personally think 6 days out of an election, I mean, that's campaign-ending stuff. It's once again more evidence that the Democrats are out of touch with how voters actually feel. You know, people want change, they want unity, and most importantly, they want to focus on their actual issues. Yet all the Democrats do is stoke fear, division. Like I said earlier in the video, Kamala Harris during her event in Washington, D.C. was going on and on about how much of a threat Donald Trump is. It's just not landing. It's just not a good look. Let's just say this othering of half the nation, this constant barrage of insults towards your fellow Americans, your neighbors, is not a good strategy to get elected. Joe Biden once again sabotages Kamala Harris, and at this point it's really starting to feel like he might be doing it on purpose, huh? I think Joe Biden might be salty about the way that they pushed him out of the White House, and this is possibly his revenge. Sabotaging Kamala Harris during her closing arguments 6 or 7 days away from Election Day. You just can't make this stuff up. Anyways, that's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.